You can hang out for more if you want to. I mean, we didn't really finish. We're back. Anton Jonsson is on the right of your screen, the Swedish star. Consistently good, finishing in the money at seemingly every Pro Tour. He's taking on Masashi Oiso, reigning Rookie of the Year and definitely the best player in Japan, in my opinion. There you get a good look at Anton Jonsson. He's up 2-0, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about his chances right now.
Masashi's deck looks like a solid green-white deck, but
okay.
Nothing too spectacular. No bombs. He has double arrest and a Fangreed Hunter deconstruct, but other than that, I don't really see him taking out an Infinity deck. He doesn't have many ways to deal with flyers. He has even an archers.
And Masashi Oiso in his third top 8. He's only been on tour for 2 years. Got second place at the last Booster Draft Pro Tour. He lost to Matthias Sjorstad in the finals in Japan last year. That got him in Rookie of the Year, but then this year he hasn't let up at all. 2 top 8s. Really quite a player.
Yes, he looks to be the Japanese Gabriel Nassif, losing in the finals twice.
Raise the alarm for Oiso. Facing off against a welding jar and an engineer.
The engineer on turn 2 from Johnson is pretty dangerous.
Could be scary. We'll find out what he can do with that man in next turn. We've already got one semifinal match completely set. Mike Turian and Nikolai Herzog each swept their opponent. They'll be squaring off after lunch. Other one up in the air, though. Jansson's up 2-0. Ruel and Perez de Pozo have split their first 2 games.
That cup's not too threatening.
An update. Antoine Ruel has taken the 3rd game. So Ruel, with what a lot of people have said is the best deck at the table, but a bad quarterfinal matchup. The player seemingly more important than the matchup so far. Actually, I have no idea how good Angel Perez de Pozo is. I've never seen him play.
I've never heard of him
He
before.
Could be a great player. I know Antoine Ruel's a great player, and I know he's got a great deck. So no slight intended to the Spaniard.
Game 1 may have just been a random factor.
Nope.
Nope.
So nothing? What did he do with his engineer? I missed. I wasn't looking.
That was Thoughtcast.
Thoughtcast. So he did nothing. Engineer just hanging out, not doing much. Meanwhile, Oiso has added a cub to his board.
Equipment.
Take 4.
No equipment, but he's still swinging for 4.
Well, he might have a 4-drop.
20. 14.
Oiso has some good equipment. Bola, Skull Clamp.
It's funny. He got. We watched Mike Turian's draft, and he was trying to draft this white winning equipment deck. I think he got the 3rd best white equipment deck at the table.
Yeah.
Oiso did a better job of drafting that deck, and Ruel did an outstanding job of drafting that deck.
3 white drafters. And I mean, we figured that Oiso had to have been white based on the way the packs went. Because there was a blinding beam that we figured he'd have to take 3rd out of that insane pack that Mike opened.
Unless Ruel got it. Ruel's got 2 blinding beams. Does Oiso have a blinding beam? You can look it up, right?
Oh, Oiso didn't take the blinding beam.
Spire Golem comes down for Anton Jonsson. That may put a break on the beats.
Yeah.
Still no action from the engineer, just hanging out.
Oiso has 2 arrests, so. If Spire Golem did halt his attack, that's pretty bad for Oiso right now. Skull Clamp?
1 mana.
Bola. There we go. Bola is excellent for him right now.
Yep, taps the Spire Golem by putting it on one of his soldier tokens.
Should equip.
Puts it on probably the Cub, right?
Yeah, he should equip with the Cub probably and attack with it.
Unless he needs his mana for something else. That makes sense.
Equip the Cub.
Yep, equips the Cub, sends the Cub in the air.
Yep.
Smash. 5 damage coming over. The Exile and the Flying Cub.
Re-equip.
29.
There we go.
Spends his last mana, moving it over to the untapped soldier. Yeah, good turn for Masashi
not a bad
Oiso.
turn.
Excellent turn. That Bola was perfect. Now Anton Jonsson suddenly down to 9. Hasn't done a whole lot this game.
Yeah, with an active bull on Masashi's side, it's looking good for him this game. Bull is typically a very hard equipment for Affinity to deal with.
Nim Shrieker comes down for Anton. So, how big is that guy?
Looks like a 4-1.
Oiso taps the Spire Golem on end step, of course. Untaps. He's got his men ready.
Oh,
Moving in for the kill. Oh,
That's-
longbow. Viridian longbow comes down. Soldier picks it up and shoots down the Nim Shrieker.
if he has another land right now, that'd be great. Nope, well, it's good enough.
Soldier token, the Cub, and the Exile come smashing in. Jonsson's finally going to do something with his Engineer. He's going to trade it for half of a Raise the Alarm. Not very exciting.
Yeah, Blue
Jonsson
Black
takes
Affinity.
takes 4 down to 5.
20.
This is the main problem Blue Black Affinity has, is not being able to deal with artifact equipment. And you have two of the best equipments in play right now on Masashi side of the board.
The longbow and the bola.
Yeah. I don't see him being Bodal of this game.
Can Jonsson come back here? Can he stabilize? Oiso seems to be applying a lot of pressure right now.
I don't see him stabilizing this game. Bola and Longbow are both going to finish him off.
No, I cannot hear Paul. Which is bad. I would like that fixed.
Behemoth, maybe?
I occasionally hear him
Authority,
very
yeah.
softly.
No, didn't want to help him here.
No, let him go. So what's Oiso's play here? How would you play this turn if you were him?
I think you would. Maybe just tap. It looks like you just tap and swing and try to finish him off with Longbow. I mean, you'd need to have a Terror to deal with the Cub
Okay.
or an Echoing Decay in response to the equip. I would equip my Soldier. Yeah, I think maybe. Actually, I would equip the Exile with Bola,
Yep.
tap the Spire Golem, then re-equip the Cub and attack, and you plan on killing him with Longbow.
Yeah. That would drop him to 2, and he's 2 longbow pings from dead. That sounds like a pretty good play. We'll see what Oiso does.
Masashi's trying to figure out if he has any removal right now. Or he could always have the arrest and just go for the kill this turn. Echoing Truth is another possibility. Silent Ring.
Scythe of the Wretched?
That's
What does that do?
This is a
An
strange
Arcbound
turn.
Lurker? What's he up to? And the bola on the Cub. And he says go.
I mean, I guess he's playing very conservatively. He doesn't
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to
he built
lose
up
the
his
trick.
board position.
I mean, he's guaranteed to win next turn at least, but I probably would have just gone for the kill.
All right, well, he pings with the soldier that's
20.
still holding the longbow. That drops Jonsson to 4. He uses the bola to tap the Spire Golem. Yeah, he is indeed trying to set up a pretty much guaranteed kill.
Yeah, he's, I guess, very conservative play. It's much more conservative than most Japanese players.
Fair. And there's a rest.
I wonder if he had that last turn, too. Yeah, now even with the trick.
And, yeah,
Anton
there it
can't
is.
win.
Masashi Oiso wins game number 3. He pulls within a game. We'll be right back after this break to watch game 4 between Anton Jonsson and Masashi Oiso. Meanwhile, Osip and I have now been joined in the booth by magic artist Tom Baxa. How's nice
thank
talking
you,
to you.
Tom.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
So Paul, hold the other one for 5 if it goes to 5.
When you guys do interviews, be sure to hug him.
We're back. Anton Jonsson has a 2-1 lead against Masashi Oiso. They're playing Game 4. It's best 3 out of 5, so Anton just needs to win one of these next two, but I think Oiso has some other ideas.
I don't know. Anton looks confident. It looks like he's wearing his nicest white T-shirt today. So
Always
he's got a game face.
the fashion plate, Anton
Oh,
Jonsson.
yes. Anton's known for his fashion in Europe. I think he's the only European who doesn't wear capri pants. And that's very rare.
So, Chromatic Sphere followed by an Engineer from Jonsson. Scythe of the Wretched for Oiso.
Oiso has an intense look on his face.
Oiso's also got, you know, the always a fashion statement, the competitor shirt.
Yes, yes. We actually can tell if a player is good or bad by if they wear a competitor shirt day one of a Pro Tour. John Finkel actually wears his competitor shirt all the time. So
Yeah, no, I think by day 3 it reverses, right?
Yeah,
it becomes
by day 3 it's the cool thing to do.
Exactly. Day 1 competitor shirts, though. You're hoping to get paired against the competitors.
Slagward armor and go. Elf replica. This is a very impressive top 8. The caliber of creatures, top notch.
Anton has to read Scythe of the Wretched.
Anton's seen it on Moto enough, but you never know. On Moto, if you attack with a creature with Scythe of the Wretched, you can magically gain control of all creatures in play. So
The Engineer picks up the armor.
each turn better than the last. That's actually great, though, against Masashi's deck, sadly.
And the Elf Replica picks up the Scythe of the Wretched.
Go.
Ooh.
And just 5th land go from Anton. Neither player off to much of a start. Oh, Oiso serves.
Maybe he has a trick.
So what is that? That's a 6-4? How big is the Scythe?
It's a 4/4 right now.
It's a
plus
4/4.
2/2. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature and that creature goes to graveyard, you gain control of the creature and you equip it with Scythe.
All right, so it's a 4/4, and he's serving into a 1/7?
Yeah, this is just a bluff. I mean, Masashi, I don't think will have any tricks in his deck.
Does he have Predator Strike? I mean, he's...
Yeah, oh, he has
I'll take it.
one Predator Strike.
And it was a booster draft anyway, so Anton Jonsson doesn't know
Yeah,
whether he has
Anton-
Predator Strike or not.
That's definitely the right...
I think even if he doesn't have Predator Strike, he can get free damage there,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's definitely the right attack.
Oh, Dengard,
Right.
Soldier Replica.
It's better than last turn.
Yeah. Can Oiso come all the way back here?
Well, looking at Anton's side of the board, I'd say yes.
Yeah. Oh, Anton.
Murder spoils, all right.
Ooh,
Oh,
Murderous Spoils.
Suddenly, that's...
Wow.
I'm not sure if Masashi can come back anymore.
Man down, Andy steals the side.
Masashi needs Bola, Skull Clamp, something here. Arrest, maybe, but Arrest on an Engineer isn't the best play. Just to force through 2 points of damage. Oh, Gauntlets. All
Gauntlets
right.
on the Dengard.
It's still not enough, though. You need
Comborific.
who would have thought the Engineer can hold down the fort so well?
He's big enough, yeah. Engineer
1 point of
blocks the
damage.
giant Dengard. Oiso just gets through the 1 point with the replica.
I mean, on the plus side for Masashi, he still has the Dengard equipped with the Gauntlets, which is
That
really
is
hard.
not a small creature.
Yeah, and Anton already uses Murder Spoils, so he has very few answers to it. He needs to start getting some pressure out there.
Is that a spy?
Yeah.
Neurok
there's-
Spy
there
plus
you
Side
go.
of the Wretched, so there's 4
That's
power
the pressure he
unblockable.
needs right now. I mean, he's got the blocker. He's taking 1 a turn only. I definitely see Anton winning this game.
Well, Oiso said he had a Predator Strike earlier. He attacked with a 4/4 into a 1/7.
Yeah, but I mean, that could have been a bluff.
It could have been, but we may find out now. I mean, the Dengard may come over.
If he has a Predator Strike, it's great for him. There's the arrest.
Ooh, there's the arrest on the spy. And yeah, he attacks in.
There's the one.
All right. It was a bluff. Looks like it was a bluff.
14.
Yeah, Oiso sent over the giant Dengard, but
Okay, there's something good. Now you can start moving the equipment over to the Stinger and getting it for some real damage.
Yep.
He needs another land and he's
Arcbound
set.
Stinger, a 1/1 flying modular creature. Flying being the key to that. That Engineer with the Slagworm armor has been insanely good
Yeah,
this game.
if he didn't
You made fun of both of those
I know.
plays when Anton made them.
if Anton didn't have Slagward armor, he actually would have lost this game many turns ago.
What's your 3/4? Nim Shrieker.
You could equip it. Yeah, the slagwood armor is really turning out to be a problem for Masashi. Now the Stinger's not even that big of a deal anymore. Suppose you can block. Yeah. I mean, he could equip the Shrieker right now. That way he has the option of blocking the Stinger if Masashi chooses to equip it with the gauntlets.
Both players studying the board intently.
Masashi really needs to deconstruct or creeping mode right now.
Some of you may notice that Masashi Oiso's name is being spelled differently than it used to be. Found out that OOISO, which is what he'd been for a year, is not incorrect, but he prefers it with one O at the beginning. So
I mean, 3 vowels in the name is still...
it's still a lot of
pretty
vowels.
crazy.
Yeah. He prefers this spelling, so we've changed it up in the database. Huh?
So if he draws another land, he can equip gauntlets to Stinger, attack.
So Jonsson chose not to move anything onto the Shrieker.
It's a 2-1 right now, which wouldn't kill the Stinger if he equips with gauntlets.
So, clenched fist, staring. This is a tight game. These are the crucial turns, I think.
Oiso can still kill the Nim Shrieker with the replica if he has to.
I can't hear you, Paul. Meanwhile, over in the other match, I'm told that Antoine Ruel is smashing with a Shikari, with a scimitar, a sword of fire and ice, and some other piece of equipment on it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Giant Shikari. So it looks like Antoine Ruel will be through to the semis. May have dodged the one bad match up at the table. He may win this Pro Tour. We'll see. Going to be quite the star-studded semifinal, by the way. Herzog v. Turian and Ruel versus whoever wins this match.
Yeah.
That's some star power.
Looks like Ruel.
I hear some applause. Yeah, it sounds like Antoine Ruel is indeed through to the semis. All right, so Arcbound Stinger picked up the gauntlets. Or I guess they were dropped on him. I don't know how that works. Anton Jonsson trying to figure out what to do about this. So that's a 5-3 flyer, right?
Yes.
Whoa. My apologies on the update. Angel Perez de Pozo pulled out that game. He top-decked to beat the giant Shikari.
Well then.
They're 2-2 heading to game 5.
I'm rooting for the underdog. Is this a block? Oh.
Interesting.
Well, he
Scale.
can just what? Well, he can shoot the...
Is the option to shoot with the soldier replica? He's choosing not to?
I guess he doesn't really want to.
Interesting.
He has another flyer. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there's Terran Ghost. Paul, I can hear you when you talk to the score guy, so push that button when you talk to me. Yes, much better. We're going to hold game 5 of that Perez de Pozo versus Ruel match, by the way. We'll be bringing you coverage of that live, so... Spire Golem comes down for Jonsson, and Side of the Wretched moves on to it.
So actually need some artifact removal right now.
Bola might get the job done,
Bola
too.
would do good, yeah. Bola would be really nice right now. Go to the Den Guard.
Tooth with Chisgarai was really good last turn. I mean, it pumped up the Shrieker twice, right? Managed
Yeah,
to
I
trade.
mean, as good as it can be, it's still a tooth.
You're not a Tooth man?
I'm not a tooth man myself.
Oiso has Clockwork Condor.
I think Masashi's getting frustrated by the Slagward armor at this point.
It's amazing how good that Slagworm armor has been. It's really been the key to this game for Anton Jonsson.
Costing him thousands of dollars. And then he's just thinking, why did I pass it 12th pick? Anton always looks like he's losing or he's having a really bad time. I've never seen him enjoy a game of Magic in my life. He's always so depressed and frustrated.
Interesting. Jonsson moves the Slagworm armor onto the Spire Golem, and the Engineer has the Scythe now.
I've noticed equipment makes the games a lot more boring because you just move stuff from side to side.
Think? At least gives you something to do with your mana in the late game. Uh-oh. Oiso
No,
smiling
I'm not saying
and
it's
happy.
not good. This is deconstruct. Oh, Cub.
Oh, the Cub.
I want to be happy about that.
It's pretty good, right?
It's fine right now.
Cub picks up the gauntlets.
I mean, he can at least kill the Spiral Golem with the Soldier Replica as well.
Just says go. 7-5 Cub playing D.
He could have done the same with the Condor, though, so...
There's Thoughtcast for Johnson.
He still has murder spoils.
How does this stalemate break? I mean, there's a lot of power and a lot of equipment lined up on both sides of the board right now.
Yeah, I mean, Masashi's the only one with artifact removal, though. So
How much does he have?
he has Creeping Mode Deconstruct, which he hasn't drawn. I haven't seen him draw in either games we've watched. Anton has a Murder Spoils, which...
That's how he got the side earlier, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have another one, does he?
No.
Arcbound Worker for Oiso.
Just building up his board for one big attack.
Oiso's board is Den Guard, Soldier Replica with a +1/+1 counter, Terran Ghost, Clockwork Condor, a Cub holding Gauntlets, and an Arcbound Worker.
Cool.
Squaring off against Jansson's board, which is a Slagworm Armored Spire Golem, a Tooth of Chiscaraya, a Vidalcan Engineer wielding the Scythe of the Wretched, and an Arrested Nurok Spy.
Impressive is not the word that comes to mind, but
Stalemate is the word that comes to my mind. Neither player can really afford an attack here.
Sashi's debating right now. Japanese aren't known for their poker faces.
I actually think Oiso has one of the better,
Well, yeah,
calmer demeanors. A lot of Japanese players
Yes.
do tend to telegraph what they
that's
have in
true.
their hand. They
Jin
tend to,
Nakamoto being one of them.
yeah, they tend to give away a lot with their visible emotions.
I
But
think Ataru Ishida is probably the best, though.
Oiso is pretty good. He
Yeah,
doesn't
Oiso's
give away
pretty good.
much. I think it's one of the reasons he's having more success, actually.
This is probably true.
So you say Oiso can break the stalemate by drawing artifact removal.
I mean,
What can Janssen do?
I mean, Jonsson, he needs to start putting some pressure on the board. I mean, he's in a defensive position, and basically always just keep putting creatures out there.
Right.
And eventually, if he's got 3 flyers right now on his side of the board, if he ever gets rid of the Spiral Golem,
What's my life?
he can go through for a lot of damage.
14.
There you go.
No, and yeah, Janssen knows he's got to do something. Engineer with the scythe. Smash is over. He's perfectly content to trade that for a creature because he'll then get the creature, right?
Well, I mean, he can trade it with the Soldier Replica, but he won't actually get in control of the Soldier Replica. He might just, Masashi might just choose to shoot it.
What's your play if you're Masashi?
What he's doing right now is
Double
the correct
block?
play. Yeah, I mean, this way you actually can't.
So Oiso double blocks with the 2/4 Soldier Replica and the Terran Ghost.
I mean, he
Ye-
plays around the scale of Chiscoria.
Janssen pumps up with the Tooth. Now what happens?
I mean, he's gonna have to sign damage. He'll sign all of it to the Soldier Replica. In response, Masashi will just sacrifice it to shoot the Baltic Engineer.
So if the Replica's sacrifice ability kills the Engineer, the
Damage?
Scythe never triggers.
Yeah, if they put damage on the stack, that's different.
Damage on this.
I mean, he's gonna, if he sacrifices to regenerate, nothing
Okay.
happens.
So So they put damage on the stack, and he sacrifices the Terran Ghost to regenerate Soldier up.
There's the scale.
And there is the scale. Is that enough to save it?
Yeah, it was only 3 points of damage that was in the stack.
Okay, damage.
So Jonsson dealt with a Terran Ghost just by having a surprise scale in his hand. No loss to his board.
Okay.
Mirror Retriever.
Go.
The second arrest would also be pretty nice right now.
If Oiso comes up with a way to get Spire Golem out of the way, he's in great shape, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming to him here. I mean, Johnson's at 14, so right now Oiso has. Oh yeah, he only has the one blocker too. If he manages to get rid of Spire Golem.
Just the Mirror Retriever, right? All right, the Gauntlets move over to the Den Guard now instead of the Cub.
Bolo would also break this game open. Even Skullclamp, frankly, right now.
A lot of things Oiso can draw. Meanwhile, Anton Jonsson trying to chip away with that, sending over creatures, wielding the scythe that he stole with that Murderous Spoils. Seems like it's going to take him a while to slog through. Tough
Well, I
game.
mean,
Complicated game.
The Tooth and the Scale are really going in overtime right now. It's making it really difficult for Masashi to get a good block. I mean, I think Masashi has to take this. Could block with a Den Guard, I suppose, but what trick does he have?
Jonsson sent over the Engineer. Oiso says no blocks, can't block it with that scythe and the tooth and the scale. So Oiso takes 4 down to 15.
15. 14.
Any good Oiso stories from the Invitational?
Oh, so
Was he the party animal?
Masashi? Yeah, Masashi and Jin were, they speak very little English, so it was hard for them to communicate with everyone. But apparently Jens Thoren and the Japanese players got along really well, and they really didn't understand each other, but for some reason, they were hanging out with each other the entire weekend. I mean, there's a
Meanwhile, Cathodian from Anton Jonsson,
Yeah.
and he moves the scythe onto it.
bull riding competition next to our hotel,
A
and
bull
I
riding
know
competition?
Masashi was very excited about it, like one of those mechanical bulls. But
Okay.
sadly, we were too busy. We never got a chance to. Because V was the only person who actually rode the bull. So that last attack, I got to put Anton on Echoing Decay right now. I mean, that would have killed the Den Guard if he blocked. Otherwise, nothing else could have. So I think Masashi kind of knows that Anton's got an Echoing Decay right now. Unless he bluffed, but I doubt that was a bluff.
All right, what do you do with that information if you're...
I mean, if he has an Echoing Decay, he now he really can't block. I mean, it's looking... All of a sudden...
Oiso moves the gauntlet over
Yeah,
to
I mean, that's...
Soldier Replica this time.
That's the best creature to put it on because, I mean, you can block, stack damage. Gaining control of a Soldier Replica isn't as bad as gaining control of a Den Guard. That size is a real problem with him. Anton's side of the board just keeps looking better and better.
Yeah, he's managed to build it and dink away and start getting through damage. And Oiso basically hasn't done anything except move the gauntlets for the last couple of turns.
I mean, it's not often you see the Affinity deck have more tricks than the green-white deck. And frankly, I mean, the Tooth and the Scale were both big, huge for him.
Yeah. right, now the attacker has Slagwork armor too. What's
Yeah.
under all that? Cathodian?
This is really
Cathodian's under all that.
this is really bad for Masashi now. Anton's on the offensive. He's got a lot of equipment that's annoying for him to deal with. He's going to keep moving the Slagwood armor back and forth. And he knows he has Echo in the case somewhere in there.
Left toes. 15, 14.
Masashi probably has to take this right now.
Take another 6. It's adding up.
If he blocks, it's not good for him.
Yeah. I bet he wishes he drafted that side of the red.
Yeah. I mean, you don't typically think of Side of the Rich as being a bomb equipment, but
No, it's dominated this
yeah,
game.
it's really.
Take 6,
Yeah, Oiso just takes 6. He's got no blocks that make
9.
any sense.
14.
That drops him to 9. And Jonsson does indeed move the armor onto a defender. Spire Golem.
JSS players are wearing for the first round and you can listen on the speaker stand to the left of the jet stage. JSS players are wearing for the first round and
Oh,
Sun Droplet. Wow. Anton Jonsson drops Sun Droplet.
So many annoying artifacts.
That is a lot of annoying artifacts. How good do you think Sun Droplet is?
It's pretty good. It's a very solid pick. I'd probably pick it like 4th or 5th.
A lot of people didn't like it. It seems like when the set first came out. They're
Yeah,
like, it's a
it
life gaining card. It's got to be terrible,
I mean,
right?
it didn't look really impressive, but it turned out to be a really solid card, especially for some decks. It's much better in certain decks,
Sure.
like Affinity or Black deck. Pretty soon, that Spire Golem is going to be able to come in.
Yeah, Oiso's running out of time.
Yeah,
We've
I
talked
mean-
about the fact that artifact removal on the Spire Golem could let him attack in the air, and the Bola could help. Even Skull Clamp could probably break the stalemate, but it's not really stalemate now, and Jonsson keeps building up his own board while Oiso hasn't been able to do anything.
But if he could just get rid of that flyer, he can come in for 10 points of damage, and then he can just chump block until he needs to, and then he wins next turn.
Yeah, the Sun Droplet can't give Jonsson the life back fast enough, right?
Yeah, like he'll go up to like 6, and then he'll just win with the gauntlets again next turn. Like Bola or
But Oiso says
Arrest?
go. He doesn't have it. Doesn't have the artifact removal.
Must be so
Jonsson
frustrating
untaps.
for him.
Yeah.
There's plenty of outs, but he's just not drawing anything. Meanwhile, each turn he just gets better for Anton.
And he's at 9? Yes, 9, 14.
Jonsson just seems like he's maneuvering for the kill.
Yeah.
Making
I mean,
it as safe as
he knows
can.
Masashi doesn't have anything right now. Now it's you can't
There's the
even
Cathodian again.
can't even kill the Cathodian anymore.
5'11", is that how big that thing is?
Yeah.
5'11" Cathodian heads over. Oiso's got no good blocks because of the scythe. Does he take 6 to 3, or does he start having his creatures defect to the other side?
Anton also has a Viridian longbow. I don't know if Masashi knows this, but if he does, he has to block her maybe.
What's that?
If Masashi knows that Anton has a Viridian longbow, he's probably gonna be more inclined to block right now.
Oh, it doesn't want to drop to 3 against the longbow?
Yeah. I mean, Masashi's outs are limited right now.
JSS players, you should be finding your seat. Your pairings were posted on the speaker stand.
So what do you do here if you're Oiso? Do you drop to 3? Do you block? What's your play?
It's a rough one. I mean, skull clamp. If he doesn't really want to, if he loses the worker and he draws a skull clamp, he's really going to be kicking himself. I don't. The den guard's not impacting the board that much. It could be he either chump blocks or takes it. I mean,
Thanks.
I don't really. Well,
What
I
were
know.
the other options that you ruled out?
Like that's the in-depth strategy you're looking for, right? I mean, he either takes it or he doesn't. What do you want me to say?
I want you to tell me who you chump block with, or whether you go down to 3.
Okay, if I was going to chump block, I'd chump block with the den guard.
Okay.
I don't know if Oiso knows that he has a longbow or not. I mean, if he knows that he has longbow in his deck, he might be more inclined to chump block. This turn I'd probably block with den guard because I don't think it's going to really matter that much in this game. What?
They could be sense rate instead. They could be sense rate going down to 3.
Yeah.
Arcbound Worker steps in the way.
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't have blocked with worker is because if he draws skull clamp, then he can immediately draw the cards. But that's a fine block.
So Oiso protects his 9 life, but has to give an Arcbound Worker over to Anton Jonsson.
Where does he move the equipment? Probably back to the Spire Golem.
Magic players, if you are interested in playing in the Urza Saga
There is the longbow, you're right.
by Troll and Toad today, they are taking sign-ups.
Freudian longbow
This is the last call for
goes over to
sign-ups
Mere
for the
Retriever.
Free Urza
Yep.
Saga limited tournament.
That could be a problem.
You're drawing 16 players.
Next turn, Jonsson's going to be able to start mowing down creatures.
Yeah.
45, so this is the last call to sign up.
He's got the decay too. He actually could. He could decay the Condor, kill it. Next turn, ping the Skylander Cub,
Oiso
re-equip, kill
closes
it,
his eyes in a moment of prayer as he draws his card.
and clear the path with Spire Golem next turn. Yep. I think next turn, Anton will have enough to kill both the Condor and the Cub, equip the Spire Golem with the side of the Wretched and swing for 4. And then pump it in 5, dropping it to 4. Yeah, Anton probably wins this game in 2 turns.
2 turns?
You're in Block Limited, the sealed deck tournament. We're seating right now, over here by the big clock. Your seats are posted. Go ahead and have a seat. And we'll be starting momentarily.
I think the most frustrating thing for Masashi right now is he's losing to someone who didn't shave this morning. In Japan, that's something that's very frowned upon.
Is that right?
I mean, look how clean-shaven Masashi is.
Good-looking kid.
I think he just turned 14.
He's 20.
Oh, is he? Oh, sorry. My bad.
Masashi Oiso is 20 years old. He is a student from Higashi, Hiroshima. He's from Hiroshima, Japan. 11 PTs. Second place at Yokohama, as we said. He's got another top 8. He's reigning Rookie of the Year.
Anton is 24 years old.
26.
26 from Sweden. He's a clothing designer, as you can tell.
Playing in his 5th top 8, I believe.
Yes.
4th top 8.
He enjoys walks on the beach and novelty t-shirts.
Six Grand Prix top 8s.
Yeah.
Jonsson's
I mean,
resume as well.
with Jens Thoren retiring to start his own clothing line, it seems like Anton might be the best Swedish player.
Simulacrum clothing.
I think he's starting a clothing line of tight-fitting jeans and shorts. He's been modeling it all weekend. If you've seen Jens walking around. Look at Anton shaking his head. He looks like Fred
He's
Flintstone.
thinking about Jens in the jeans. Right?
Yeah. Anton and Kai Buddha, this is a little known fact. Anton and Kai Buddha are the only European players who
7?
don't wear capri pants.
I'll take it.
Little known, you say.
Little known fact, little known.
9 to 7.
Anton might actually win a turn faster.
Yeah, Oiso knows he's in trouble, so he's been forced to start attacking.
Yep.
Sent over
He
the
doesn't have
cub
to
with
kill
the gauntlets.
He doesn't have to kill the cub now.
Sun Droplet picks up
If
a
he
bunch
has-
of counters.
If he has the decay, he could decay Condor, and if he wants to. I mean, it might be the. I think it
Shoot
might be
you
the best
for
play.
what?
Oh well, no.
Janssen
doesn't
shoots Oiso.
Yeah, 7.
So Janssen's at 7, but Sun Droplet takes him back up to 8. Meanwhile, Oiso
8.
down to 8.
8.
JSS players, today's tournament
I'd be really surprised if Anton didn't have the Echoing Decay in his hand, based on that attack like a couple turns ago where he just attacked with the 4 power guy,
Yeah.
and he could have just blocked with Denguard. I mean, he has to have Decay here.
Second place is box. Third and fourth half of box. Fifth through eighth quarter of the box. Y'all beginning your participant coils. It's a giant frog that's very lovely. Return home shortly.
And this time the scythe goes back to the Cathodian.
Attack.
I mean, Anton's playing it really conservatively.
Anton
now.
attacks with just the Cathodian.
What do you block with?
Does he lose to flying damage next turn, potentially?
Anton? You think
Yeah.
Anton might lose?
No, I'm just...
The flying damage, you said?
Oiso can mount 9 damage in the air, right?
Well, he still has the Spyro Golem to deal with. And he also has Sun Droplets, so he's gaining another life next turn.
Yeah,
so he
so
goes to 9.
that'll get Janssen to 9. Oiso's got 10 power worth of
Oso's got,
flyers.
yeah, he's got 10 powers worth
So
of
if
flyers.
Oiso could blow up the Spire Golem and Janssen doesn't have an answer in his hand.
But I think what Anton's playing for, like I said, if he has the decay.
You're right. If
that's
Janssen
it.
has Echoing Decay in his hand, then I don't see how he loses. But if you're wrong, I mean, if he's got nothing, Oiso could still win this. Just
I mean,
with top decked artifact removal.
Anton's playing it very conservatively. If he does have decay, if he has the decay, if he doesn't have decay, yeah, you're right. If he top decks artifact removal or an arrest or a bola even,
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. That
yeah.
Spire Golem is vulnerable.
he'll
Very
lose to the
vulnerable.
air unless he has another creature. But
It's more reason to think that Janssen does have removal in his hand.
Yeah.
because I don't think he'd be this conservative.
yeah,
if
he wouldn't
he
play
was
like
depending
this.
on that Golem.
Yeah, I mean, he would make him lose the Condor right now. So he must have the decay.
All right. Oiso puts Soldier Replica in front of Cathodian.
Okay, that's actually good because if he moves the Slagwood armor back, then he actually
Cathodian dies.
Cathodian dies.
Meanwhile, he's going to sack the Replica, so it's not to give his opponent control of it, right?
Damage.
Surely.
Oh no, he put damage on the stack.
Yeah, sacrifice the Replica, so... Cathodian takes 3 damage, and Soldier Replica winds up in
So the
graveyard.
Cathodian is going to die regardless.
Regardless.
Well, because the scythe is going to get put on the.
10, 5, 6, 7. And 7. 3. It's going to do a total 10. 7. So this is still alive, right? This is 6, 8, 11.
So okay, no, the scythe doesn't transfer over.
Nothing much happens.
Nope, 10 damage. Not quite enough. 10
Okay.
damage on 11 toughness. That's how that played out. Oiso still had to sacrifice it, though. That's the only way to prevent
Yeah,
him
yeah.
giving the Replica to his opponent.
Maybe this is just yep.
All right. Longbow
Okay, so
pings
that's-
Cub, and he's going to spend 3 more mana to move the Longbow and finish off the Cub. Yep. Worker finishes off the Cub. All right. Cub down. Anton Jonsson has 2 swamps untapped.
You can equip again with the engineer. Get to another point of damage.
That engineer doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, no.
I think he's used it maybe once in the 2 games we've
Well,
seen.
it was equipped with armor in the beginning of the game, so it actually did hold down
Great.
the 4 of
Yeah, you're right. It was a 2 mana 1/1 that was capable of picking up equipment. Free draw Golem for Anton Jonsson.
Maybe he'll just equip Spire Golem with Longbow.
Anton Jonsson maneuvering coldly, calculatingly.
Yeah, he like.
Does Oiso have blinding beam in his deck?
Oiso does not have blinding
Does
beam,
not have
but Anton doesn't know that.
True. Yeah, he's probably been playing around with it. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think he doesn't want to equip for that reason alone. I don't think there really is a reason to equip. You might as well play around blinding beam. I mean, if he has it, and if Anton has 2 creatures in his hand, he can still survive.
All right. Anton says go. It's crazy how this board is just very slowly, gradually, all of the permanents have moved over to Anton Jonsson's side of the board. Remember what is a stalemate when Oiso had like 5 creatures, the Jonsson's 3?
Well, Oiso drew a lot of lands this game. I'm hard pressed to say those 3 cards in his hand are on more land. I don't think Oiso has any outs now.
He does have a Tango Walker in his deck. That doesn't do anything if Jonsson drops an artifact land, does it?
Well, it will kill him. Because that's exactly 10 points of damage. But, I mean, he doesn't have an artifact land now, so it's irrelevant.
Right. Jonsson's up to 9 now. Which is exactly the power that Oiso has.
Yeah, I don't see Oiso winning this game.
Life totals 8, 9.
Oiso has fought. Oiso has fought gamely. Just hasn't drawn what he needed. He had some answers. He had some early aggression. He had answers in his deck. He just didn't draw what he needed.
He had so many outs, and they just kept going down and down. With each turn, he wasn't drawing them. Anton did play this game perfectly, though.
You think?
Yeah, he played it really well.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the Player of the Year race a lot. Anton Jonsson could get right into it with a win here. He's got 26 points coming in, so he can't actually take the lead, but he could get to 58 if he were to win this Pro Tour, which would put him in 3rd.
Well, he's going to lose in top 4. He always does. So that's.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. I don't think he's ever won a top 4 match.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Herzog or Antoine. I'm going to take him out anyway.
The winner of this match plays the winner of the match between Antoine Ruel and Angel Perez de Pozo. That match will be playing at Game 5, which we're basically holding. We know you're going to want to watch it, so that Game 5 will take place after this.
He'll be dancing in the streets of Barcelona if Angel wins.
You think?
I think Masashi's contemplating how he's going to extend his hand. If he's going to go like overhand style or just slide it across the table. If this is just equip and go, then equip and go. All right, he's planning on where he's going to eat dinner tonight.
There's one slot left in the Nerd Block English Booster
Equip and
Draft.
attack.
One spot left in the Nerd Block English Booster Draft. We're also taking signings for the Grand Prix Trial Orlando. If you'd like to earn 3 fabulous buys.
Jonsson will be blocking.
Grand Prix Trial, please contact
Picks up his 2 land affinity golems. Spire Golem and a Dross Golem.
Yeah.
Playing around Predator Strikes, I'm sure. 3 creatures block. Looks like Engineer, Spire Golem, Dross Golem.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to bring any trample damage into play.
I mean, he's able to kill off the Den Guard unless Masashi has a trick, and he'll only lose 2 of his creatures because the scale's still on tap.
Yeah, good point. Predator Strike would do what here? Nothing?
Nothing, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great block.
Yep, Dead Guard dies. Oiso's just desperate. He's just, is there anything? Give him a chance to make a mistake. Maybe he'll mess something up.
I mean, Masashi still
Basically
has
got
1
nothing.
out if a meteor falls from the sky
Meteor?
and kills Anton. But even then, I still think the Cthulhu will probably take it home.
Oh, there's Tangle Walker.
There's Tangle Walker.
Jonsson does a quick check. Nope, no artifact lands. There are 2 artifact lands in Anton's deck. I mean, if he'd drawn one of them, it would be in play. And this game might have been totally
Skull
different.
Clamp. If Anton goes see the sign at go,
You said what?
then I think Masashi has a chance.
8.
But Anton's probably not going to do that.
Anton calculating.
There's nothing
thinking
like drawing a Skull Clamp the turn before you're going to lose.
What's Anton calculating? He's got...
I think he's probably thinking about his next match.
Well, he doesn't know who he's going to play until he finishes.
Next line of t-shirts.
I mean, if he has Echoing Decay, you can kill the Condor.
Yeah, he could kill either... yeah.
Surprisingly, that Skull Club was actually really good. I mean, I still don't think Masashi's going to win, but he might not lose this turn. Echoing
If he had
Decay?
the Echoing... Yeah.
There we go.
All right, there's Echoing Decay. So
So
Skullclamp brought the Condor down to 2 toughness. It actually dies here.
you have to draw the card.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Oiso extends the hand.
Masashi.
Anton Jonsson defeats Masashi Oiso 3 games to 1. Oiso fought hard, but Anton Jonsson is through to the semis where he will play. Stay tuned. We're about to find out. Joining us in the booth now is Kai Buddha. Hey, Kai. How you doing?
Yes, pretty good.
How was this tournament from your point of view?
Well, this was probably my worst